Yeah, greetings. It's Jim from JAGfx EAs.com. This video, I'm just going to have a look at some of the JAGfx DCA MT5 EA fixed profit target using a fixed price. Now, here's the JAGfx DCA in all DCA stands is for dollar cost averaging. So it's in the list there. This is MT5 Strategy Tester. I'm going to use the Australian USD, so the Aussie USD 4-hour chart. Going to test it from the 1st to the 11th, 1st November 2024, basically till today's date, which is the 9th of October 2025. So just over 11 months. Start balance 100,000 USD, leverage of 100 to 1. Now I'll just go into the settings here and I'll show you a few things on the settings, then I'll go back and explain what we're doing. So the multiplier, I'm just going to use 1, so every trade is going to be the same size. I'm going to use a percentage of account balance. Actually, I'll change that to, yeah, we'll use equity. So percentage of equity, 15% of equity. What other settings are relevant? So buy and sells, no time restrictions. Overbought, oversold levels on the QQE, that's these two blue lines up here. 60 for overbought and 40 for oversold. Now we're going to use a fixed profit target. Now I did a video on fixed profit target yesterday, but this is the third option. So it's on the list here, drop down menu, fixed profit target. And we'll come down here and go to the profit target. Now remember, if you watched the video from yesterday, we had 3 options. I've already done the fixed currency amount and I've also done the fixed pips from entry. Today we're going to use the fixed price level. So click on that and we have to come up with a level. Now for the Aussie USD, I'm going to use this 0.6500, 65 cent level. I'll explain to you why I'm going to use that in a minute. Now, because this is a bit of a high risk sort of strategy, we're going to have some sort of risk reduction. So come down to the risk reduction. I've selected true, so the true or false for this. True. Minimum trades to activate is going to be 6, and the break even plus buffer is going to be 5. So basically what happens after 6 trades, if it hasn't reached the target, because the target might be a long way away. This applies to any exit strategy. If it hasn't reached the target or a trailing stop hasn't been activated, it basically just changes strategy and just looks for break even overall plus 5. So that's all it does. All right, and I'll just go into it and I'll show you what I mean by this. All right, so this is the Aussie. This is what we're going to be trading on the 4-hour. I've marked up the this 0.65 level with that big red line there, so it's a 0.65. Now I'll just go to a weekly chart and I'll show you why this is relevant. So this is a weekly chart for the Aussie USD. This is where we're going to start trading from, where it comes down and touches that in there. Now if you look at this, we'll go back in time. You see how relevant this is? Look, it bounces around the 65 a lot. I talk about it a lot in my weekly videos. Even if you come back in time, through the 60 there a couple of times. Going back a long way now, we're going right back. You see the 60 level there, that's going back to 2009. Here we go back to, see it bounce around there, that's back in 2003. And here we are here, it's going, this is back in the late 90s, it's bounced around to 65. So it's a fairly relevant number. So I'll go to a daily chart just to make it a bit easier to see. Where we go? So we're looking at, we could have started back here, doesn't matter. I've just chosen this point. This is nearly a year's worth of data. So this is going to be my start point, first to 11th, and I know I can see what's coming up, all right? That's why we have the risk reduction in play. This could just keep on going down and keep on going down to 50 cents. So basically what it's doing is any time it's below this red line, which is a 65 cent level, it's only taking buy trade, so it's trying to get back up to it. Anytime it's above the 65 cent level, it's only taking sell trades. Now this is the daily chart. So if I switch to the 4-hour chart, so this is what we're looking at, the 4-hour chart. So here it'd be only taking buy trades. It's looking to get back down to that level there. Here it's only taking, sell trades above, buy trades below. Sorry for a bit of confusion there. So sell trades above, and it's the same rules, above the 60 for sells and below the 40 for buys on the QQE. You see it, and there's a fairly substantial gap. So in this area here, it'd only be taking buys because the red line's up above. It's only taking buys throughout there. So it can be in one direction for a long time. And we go back to it bouncing around. There's a start point there. So I'll explain it when it's in go forward mode. So we'll get up the settings. So we'll put it in visual mode and I'll just set it up and we'll go from there. All right, we've started up. There's the start line there. Now we're just waiting for the EA to kick in. It's a bit slow, isn't it? I'll speed it up a little bit. There's that 60 level. All right, there's the 65 cent level, that red line. So we've got to buy, and it's hit the line, closed out. So that's all the target is at 0.65, 65 cent level. It still has to follow the rules. The EA still has to follow the rules with regards to the QQE advanced, overbought and oversold. I'll speed it up a little bit. So when that orange line in the QQE is just between the two blue lines, not much is happening there at all. So here we go, we've got a buy. There's sort of that purple line, there's the break even. Try and see if we can get a few here. So just look down here for buys. These are all the same position size. Trying to get up to that red line there. Keeps on dropping down, no problems. Takes another buy, the overall break even moves. So we've got 4 trades. Remember I said after 6, there's 5. So we've got 5 trades, there's a break even there. Now that blue line, we've had 6 trades, so that blue line is now the target. It doesn't matter if it has to take more trades, that blue line will move down also. So hopefully this will show it. There we go, there's number 7. And we've got another sequence commence because we've got multiple sequences on. It's no big deal. So we're still aiming for that blue line there. There you go, it closes out. Didn't make this 0.65, but that's the risk reduction. So there's all those trades closed there. So we're in how many sequences from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're well above the break even. So as soon as we get the 6th trade, it should just close, which it has. Just closes them all on the 6th trade, even though we're above break even. Still in buy mode because we're still below the red 65 cent level. There's a break even level there. How many trades we've got multiple sequences on there. It's going up nicely. Still above the break even. 3 trades on, we've closed some there. Just speed up a little bit. Out. 4 buys below the 40 level. Still heading towards the 65 cent level, the big red line which is above us. We can't see it obviously. There's the break even there. 1, 2, there. Now we'll have got multiple sequences on. The blue vertical line is just the start of a new sequence. That's all it is. We're up to the break even levels there. Hopefully push through. We get another buy, it'll close, I think, some of these trades. Not yet. So it's closed a few there. That was a 6 buy trade, closed them just automatically. It's above the break even. Now there's the red line we aim for, closed out on that red line, 1 sequence. And below it, there's another buy signal here. Got to the red line, closed. Now still below the red line, 65-cent level. Now we're above it. There's a signal, bait straight through it, straight to it. Short and sharp. So it bounces around this level a lot, and I know this is hindsight and I can see it, but it's a level I talk about a lot in all my videos. And as I said, you can get away from that level and keep on heading away. Then you could just adjust your EA, wait for a break-even result or something, then just adjust the EA. This could be used on any pair for any major resistance or support level, any big round number. You know, you could use it, say, on Bitcoin around the 100,000 level or the 120,000 level, or gold around the 3,500 level, anything like that. All right, so you get the idea how it works. So it just keeps on coming back to that red line, and that's your target. If not, it'll get out after 6 trades. And if those 6 trades are in profit, it'll just close on the 6th trade and take whatever profit's on offer. If they're not in profit, it'll just keep on taking trades so it gets to that overall break even plus 5. Now, there's the end of it. So we can just come to the chart and have a look at the graph here. Yeah. There's the graph there. So there's a bit of a pullback. Nice, steady upward move. Here it is, all the trades up here. Have a look at the backtest results. $10,000 account, 723. So it's nearly... what's that, 7%, nearly 11 months, 2 weeks. Profit factor 7.9, 66 trades in all, Sharp ratio 1.48, and equity drawdown was 5.61, so maximum 5.61 equity drawdown. Now I'll just pause the video and I'll set up something else here. All right, I'm just going to use exact same settings. I'm back, this is back on the weekly chart. Now we just go to this black line here. Now this is around the September 2022, so late September 2022. You can see price has been above the 65-cent level. When it breaks through there, you think there's going to be a lot of bouncing around it. So this is the, like I said, this is the weekly chart from the September 2022 right through. You can see that 65 level. I know this is after the fact, I get that, but you know, it does go a long way away from it and comes back to it, and it goes a long way below it down here and comes back to it. So what I'll do is I'll set up a test, run a test on that. Now I'll just do this in, it's exactly the same settings. I'll hit the start. Now this test takes a fair while, so what I'll do is I'll just get it going. Then I'll, so it's started. I'm just going to pause the video and I'll come back to it when it's near the end. So stand by on that. So we're just coming near the end of this test now. A few more seconds, hopefully. As you can see, we started on this date here, so 26th of September 2022. Basically, price hasn't gone too far at all. Sort of hugged that 65-cent level all the way to today's date. So we just finish up the test. You can see it's a pretty decent sort of equity curve that's got that equity percentage, so it's just cranked up a little bit. I think it was only 15%. You can crank that up to a bit higher if you wish, or you could just keep it a fixed lot or something like that. It's up to you, the individual. If you want more information on the CA, just go to the website here, JAGfx-eas.com. There is a monthly subscription, or a 3 monthly, or even I think it's a 6 monthly subscription. You can cancel any time, it's no dramas, so no problems. All right, here we go. Here's the chart here. We've finished. You can see the equity and balance curve, not too bad. A couple of little hairy spots there, but in the grand scheme of things, not too bad. Go to the backtest results. It's not a huge amount, saying just over 26% over 3 years sort of thing. Not a great amount, but this is only one pair, one setting. Not much thought went into the settings. So profit factor 8.77. There's 236 trades. Sharp ratio 1.86. Equity drawdown, maximum equity drawdown 4.71%. So it's very low drawdown. if you can, if you're quite comfortable 15% or something like that, you get 4 times the risk amount, and obviously 4 times your profit. But it's like if you increase your drawdown, increase your profit, there's always that trade-off. All right, that's it for the fixed target or fixed price target, the exit strategy on the JAGfx DCA EA for MT5. Thanks for watching. Cheers.